Do I recommend taking a break from throwing during the off season? So the way I look at throwing is it's just another exercise for the body. It'd be like running on a treadmill or lifting a weight, doing a bicep curl, doing a squat, something like that. So if you view it through the lens of it's an exercise, then you have to frame the question as, would you take time in the off season from exercise? So I personally look at the off season as a time to get better. So if I'm going to take time off during the off season, I'm wasting development time. So now, if you think about it that way, what type of exercise is throwing? Well, throwing would be a plyometric, a max speed, an overspeed type of exercise. That's all the way on one side of the spectrum. On the other side of the spectrum, you have the slowest possible lift that you can do with the heaviest weight, the max strength side of the spectrum. So you obviously want to take time and balance out the different phases of the workout that you're doing. But if you think about throwing as a plyometric exercise, and you can back off on the intensity some and you can increase the intensity some, just like you would do on a squat program or a bench press program or something like that. You would not always lift your max intensity. You might do one day where you're having higher volume, maybe 3 sets of 15, and you might have another day where you're doing 3 sets of 2 and for max weight. So the same way that you would vary a lifting program, you can vary your throwing program and your intensities and your volumes. Meanwhile, you're still getting all the benefits of continuously improving your movement pattern, continuing to improve the feel of the baseball in your hand, stuff like that. So I personally am not an advocate of taking time off from throwing. I feel like it's wasted development time, and I think it's put you in a hole, because then most people take time off and they don't build up correctly coming back. And even if you do, by the time you build up to do anything, you're already back in season. So unless there's an injury there, then I would not recommend taking time off. That being said, you have to be smart about how your program is structured. What are your volumes? What are your intensities? What's your recovery like? Stuff like that. Because obviously, like any plyometric exercise, throwing is more dangerous. You're moving the fastest, which means there's the highest velocities, which means there's the highest stress and the most chance for acute soft tissue injury. But you do speed stuff in the weight room all the time, or most people do anyway. They do med ball throws, they do sprints, and people don't really recommend taking time off of sprints, but throwing is just like sprinting. So that's my long-winded answer.